Now in this video, I am going to show you another example that can help you understanding the advantage of array in a better way. So let us consider this problem. So take a list of integer, let's say of 6 elements from the user as input, and then print the sum of all the elements in that list. So one way of doing the thing is, let us define 6 different variables. Let's say int i0, i1, i2, i3, i4, i5, and i6. It should go until i5. And then go for the input like cin, then i0, i0 followed by i1 followed by i2 followed by i3 followed by i4, then i5. And then you can do something like int sum equals i1 plus i2 plus i3 plus i4 plus i5 plus and that is it. So, and I missed 0, I0 plus. So, and finally you can print out the sum. So if you just run this program, everything is okay. So it is waiting on the 6 different inputs. So let us do something like 100, then 200, 300, 400, 500, and 600. And then once I hit enter, it will calculate the sum in this line and it printed the input. So it is one way of doing the thing, but do you think this is at all a good way? What if instead of 6 element I call it as 60 element? How many different variables you want to initialize? How many different variables you want to use? I5, I6, so 60 different variables. So that is still manageable. What if I tell that there should be 600 elements? Do you want to declare 600 elements? Or even worse, if I call 6,000 elements, is it at all possible to define 6,000 element in a C++ program? Well, so this program, what I have just written can work for small values, but cannot, but is not robust at all. So in these cases, whenever you want to handle a list of some elements, you should use an array. So how array can make the work very feasible or very easy? Because you can use loop to access each element of the array. So now let us see how to solve this problem. So I am deleting this part because this is not a good solution. So let me just delete this. Now let us do an array based solution. So here, first of all, I have to take the input from the array. So let us define a loop. I'm using for loop, but you can try it using while loop. So int index equals 0, index less than 6. Let's talk about 6 elements first. 6 and then index plus plus. Then what you have to do is you have to just write down cin array. So for this purpose, let us declare an array first. So I'm sorry about not declaring it before. Array 2. Let's, since it has 6 elements, I'm declaring array 2 for 6 element. It can hold 6 element. Array 2 can hold 6 integers. So now here is the for loop. So index 0, index is less than 6, and index plus plus, and then for each of these index, I want to take an input just like this. Since I can access each of the array element using this index, just remember the previous example of printing the array like this, I am taking the advantage of this facility of the array. Now, whatever be the number, it may be 60, 600, 6000, it does not matter. You just need to change these values to 60, 600, 6000, and that is it. You do not need to change anything else to make your code robust and to work for as many number of variables as you want. So this is how you can take input for an array. Now let us go for the second part, that is print the sum of all the elements in the list. Now in order to print it, first you have to calculate it. So now how can I calculate the sum of an array, sum of all the elements in an array? Let us do something like this. First, let us create a variable sum and initialize it to 0. So I'm initializing a variable with 0. Then again, let us traverse the entire array using this for loop once again. So every element is being traversed. And now what you have to do, every time you will travel, you will encounter one element in the array, you want to add the sum. So what you need to do is sum equals sum plus array to index. So what is it doing now? It is basically first sum is 0. Now whenever the loop is at index 0 of the array, what it is doing? It is taking array to 0. That is the index at the that is the element at the index 0 of array 2, and it is adding it with sum and again assigning it in the sum. So sum's value is incremented by that 0th value. The next time when it came to index 1, it is adding it up again. When it came to index 2, it is adding it up on the sum again. So in this way, it is moving forward. And now, if I want to print it, just do cout. Let's print a sum equals, and then final value of sum. Now let us see what it does. It basically, if I run it, so well, again, it is waiting on 6 different inputs. So let us start giving the inputs. Let's say 100, then 200, then 300, then 400, then 500, and finally 600. So I have given 6 different inputs for this 6 elements in the array, and now whenever I will hit enter, as you can see in here, the sum 2100 have been printed. So this type of logic is possible only with the array. So your code is now significantly more robust and it can work with any number of variable just by a single modification. So these are the major advantages of array. So all these demo codes are written, or the code snippet may not be the full code, but the actual logic part is written in the PDF version of the PowerPoint that you can download from this website.